All right, welcome back to my bookshelf tour. We are going through my comics collection, which it's one of these things of like some of the stuff here I have not read for ever and ever. Some of it I maybe even only read once and then slotted on the shelves, which is sort of one of those things of maybe I should take a look at. Here, let's take a look at. We've got my comics of Zero Zero, which are it's an anthology comic. God damn it! If I could figure out who was actually behind these, it would be good. That is probably in tiny print right there. Cover of this one being by David Allen, but yeah, anthologies with lots of cool different comic book creators in them, often sometimes doing parts. David Griffith doing a cover. We've already seen his Zippy the Pinhead. We are going to see some of this fellow, Charles Byrne, Black, his Black Hole series. That face, that anime face, isn't particularly representative of him. The kind of the black shading and the serpent in the woman's mouth, that kind of wood, that very kind of deep, dark, rich ink work, combined with kind of bizarre, kind of surrealist, psychologically disturbing imagery, definitely is in his wheelhouse. Skip Williamson, all these wonderful different covers. The odd little monkey. Yeah. Kim Deitch. Yes. Which actually, that's a good transition. We go from a Kim Deitch cover on a cover of Zero Zero to The Stuff of Dreams, a Kim Deitch comic, which I think has to do with kind of the idea of animators, creating comics, creating kind of hand-drawn animation at the turn of the 20th century, and how that was one of those dreams that did not come through. Definitely adult-ish comics, as you can see, with the Deitch's cat creature having kind of an interesting relationship with people. Oh, here's a little bit more. Here, I can do a little bit of my organization a bit more. This is the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Those just bizarre, but very cartoony characters. This is probably as just delightful kind of stuff. And then much more rough-hewn is David Collier, who I think I showed up his notebook before. This is David Milgaard. So him talking about like stories. David Milgaard was somebody who was, had a terrible life. Milgaard and Me. Yeah, had a really hard life, really hard done by our justice system in a really terrible way. And his decade, Just the Facts, a decade of comic essays. What a load of nonfiction, as the lady says on the back, on the front of that. The Humphrey Osmond Psychedelic Pioneer and the Doors Reception. So yeah, Collier definitely does like nonfiction essays in a lot of ways. That kind of side of comics, which is much neglected, and is actually a great way of actually getting information. We'll get to Joe Sacco at some point, and we'll get kind of probably what's the popular height of that, the Ethel Catherwood story, the Olympics. Yes. Yeah, and I think that's about that of that. Then we get someone like someone who's probably much more famous is Daniel Clowes, who is probably known best for his like a velvet glove cast in iron, but he is probably best known for But yeah, let's take a look at his work. He did Ghost World, probably one of the more famous works, which is a really, really good movie, and it's actually a really good comic. But yeah, I just love his style of his works. Oh, here's a creative cartoonist for when I had delusions of being a cartoonist, which yeah, did not take place because I lack the discipline for that sort of thing, and the many long hours it actually takes to do stuff like that. Got some kind of local indie guys, Soft Boy comics, which I believe is just one author, which I of course cannot see the name. But yeah, there's Soft Boy with the sex worker, because it's those indie comics and Soft Boy out amongst with the street folk, which is if you're going to be a hipster, you got to have that. Then we've got my some more of my Chester Brown, which I was talking to you about, the Playboy. He did a series called Ed the Happy Clown, which there he is looking all windblown, but they were a series of comics, horrific as usual by him, but really dreamlike, really great. Never finished it. Never finished it, I believe. Actually, I can't remember if it's these. There's one of them that has his Real comics in the back of it. And there actually I've got extensive kind of notes, because this is a reprint. I don't have the originals, but these are, reprint of. But yeah, just gorgeous stuff. Again, I mean, I am definitely here for the art as much as I am for the writing. I can't remember if it's the back of the drawn in quarterly. There's some of these that have Louis Real at the back of them, but here's the underwater comics. See, now I'm stacking too high. Okay, let's go. Stack. Oop. No, well, let's not put them there. Put them somewhere where I won't kill myself. I don't know. I think in a lot of these cases, I'm hanging up. There's definitely a theme in a lot of my comics, which is I definitely go for the kind of psychologically disturbing, psychosexual kind of things. Seem to draw me in as something that gets it's really good to get explored in comics. That demon girl going down the stairs there. Yeah, they're just gorgeous covers, and yeah, many more. Oh, speaking of something, The Mystery of the Wolverine Woolbat, Joel Coleman, talking about this. This is one of these guys that you think, now was this somebody who was kind of insane? I don't know if he was. You get the sense of psychological disturbance in his works in a way that actually, a lot of the other artists are fairly controlled, but these seem like kind of really obsessive. This is like a work of obsession here, which makes it quite special. Makes it quite special to me. I have my more. I can see why in some ways I did get burned out on Richard Sala, who I talked about earlier, of his kind of weird, kind of the cute girl detectives in peril amongst the monsters. Oh, actually, here's a good one for that. Is there they all are. She's getting menaced by them. I think this is actually a part of the Chuckling What's It series, its original comic run, which has got all these wonderful cartoon, all the color covers of them. Makes for great stuff. Duo Batgirls ripping off her clothing, and then literal bats ripping off her clothing while evil monsters look on. There's definitely a theme definitely a theme to all of these, isn't there? The I think it's peculiar. Actually, these are peculiar. This is peculiar getting menaced. She's like, snooping, snooping girl. And then we get Hypnotic Tales, which I think is a short one. Oh, yeah, indeed. The whole collected thing of peculiar. And what is she doing? She's snooping while monsters look on. And then yes, Delphine, which I think is where I lost patience, because it was Delphine was a thing of like there's lots of mystery, and it kind of led up and led up, and I found it didn't go anywhere. It's got these huge big versions with I'll let you peek inside one with kind of weird nice sepia tone. Yeah, nice sepia tones, but I think I found that maybe he was kind of running dry a bit on the whole story level. Just a he's published by Fantagraphic Books, and there's a little bit he did for one of their catalogs, which I held on to. Which I guess I enjoyed that. This is somebody, Crazy Cat, which I think I came to through Art Spiegelman, and the Shadow of No Towers. Actually, no, what's it called? Well, we'll get to in the Shadow of No Towers, because he kind of referenced back to the really old cartoonists, where back when there was the big broadsheets and you would have gigantic comics. And Crazy Cat was a part of that. Herman, and he would have. You have to zoom up close to people. I don't know if you can even if I can get it in focus, but just huge comics of Crazy Cat and his adventures. This is what the 3-panel we either devolved or refined into the 3-panel cartoon thing, but this is back when you would have an entire broadsheet each day that he would fill up with antic adventures of chaos. Herman's comic strip is perhaps the best illustration of the mysterious affinity between low and high culture. Remarkably, Crazy Cat is as fresh now as when it was first appeared, and repays repeated reading as a work of both high and low culture, which is a little snooty way of saying I like ye, and yes, that resonates on a lot of levels. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'll have to think about how I want to do this from now on, whether I want to just sort of take a look at a certain author's work, kind of flip through the pages, and then maybe turn on the camera and talk, because I feel like I'm just kind of holding things up and saying, look picture, which is, I'd like to bring something a little bit more to it, as much as I can bring as a dolt. So we'll stop there for right now. More videos later.